Okay, to do these, we have to do something similar of drawing a triangle, but now we have variables involved. So I actually might have to erase this bottom one if I run out of space. But what we do is we draw the right triangle again. Here's theta. Here's the right angle. Tangent represents opposite 9 over adjacent x. So now we have to do Pythagorean theorem again to solve for an unknown up here. It's just question mark. We're not sure what it is. Question mark's not really a good variable, so why don't we just call it y? All right, we're not sure what that is. So we say 9 squared plus x squared equals y squared. So on our final triangle, we will only want x's as our variable. So we're going to solve for y and then replace it with whatever we get. So we take the square root, we get y equals the square root of 81 plus x squared. Okay, so see how this side of the equation only has x's. So that's what we want. We want to replace, and it's equal to y. So we can take y, and we can just replace it with that new piece. So here's our triangle again. We get 9, we get x, and instead of writing y, we're going to write square root of 81 plus x squared. So we're not quite done because we have to do secant, and secant represents hypotenuse over adjacent, ha, 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 ha. So then our final answer, our final algebraic expression is going to be hypotenuse square root 81 plus x squared, and that's going to be over the adjacent side, which is x. And that's the final answer there. All right, no problem. So now let's do this bottom one. This one, we have arc cosine of x. So the ratio of the adjacent to the hypotenuse is x. So we have to make adjacent x hypotenuse 1. Do Pythagorean theorem again to solve for y. We get x squared plus y squared equals 1 squared, which is just 1. Y squared equals 1 minus x squared. And then y equals square root 1 minus x squared. Now we can replace that in our triangle. We get x, we get square root 1 minus x squared, and we get 1. So then now we're trying to do tangent, and tangent represents the opposite over the adjacent, opposite over adjacent. So our final answer is square root 1 minus x squared all over x. Final answer.